Taiwan, an island where ancient traditions meet modern innovation. From bustling night markets to Michelin-starred restaurants, Taiwan is a paradise for food lovers. Chef Stefini here. I found myself drawn to a dish as intriguing as it was intimidating crocodile leg ramen. Taiwan is synonymous with bubble tea, but to truly know Taiwan, you must delve into its culinary soul. Crocodile leg ramen is one such hidden treasure. My quest for this elusive dish led me off the beaten path away from Taipei into rural Taiwan. In a small village, amidst rice paddies and rolling hills, I found a tiny ramen shop. The sign above, barely noticeable, hinted at the culinary adventure that awaited inside. The air inside was thick with the aroma of spices and something unfamiliar. The shop was small and cozy with just a handful of tables. Behind the counter, a weathered old man was meticulously preparing each bowl of ramen. As I took a seat, I felt a sense of anticipation. The old man placed the steaming bowl of crocodile leg ramen in front of me, a story of tradition and culture. Finding this legendary bowl wasn't easy. My journey began with a rumor in a small tea house in Taipei. The image of a steaming bowl of fragrant broth filled with springy noodles and a monstrous crocodile leg was both intriguing and terrifying. The old men spoke of a lake, hidden deep in the mountains where a giant crocodile resided. Legend had it that the crocodile was a guardian spirit, and its meat was used to prepare a special dish. Whether these tales were true or folklore, they ignited a burning desire to find this elusive bowl. The village was small, with only a handful of shops and restaurants. Finally, an old woman pointed me towards the mountains, drawing a crude map on a napkin. With a grateful nod, I set off towards the mountains, my heart pounding with anticipation. The old woman's map was crude, but there was a charm in its simplicity. I set off into the foothills, the morning mist clinging to the slopes. The journey was as much a feast for the eyes as I hoped the destination would be for my stomach. After hours, I emerged into a small clearing with a village nestled amongst bamboo groves. The smell of cooking drew me in like a moth to a flame. This was the place, the home of the legendary crocodile leg ramen. Stepping inside, I was greeted by the intoxicating aroma of the broth. The ramen shop was a single room, dimly lit and sparsely furnished. Behind the counter, a weathered old man was meticulously preparing each bowl of ramen. The old man spoke no English and my Mandarin was rudimentary, yet somehow we managed to communicate through the universal language of food. He gestured to a worn stool at the counter and I took a seat, feeling a sense of reverence. Then came the piece de resistance, the crocodile leg. The old man pointed to a faded photograph of himself beside a massive crocodile. This was the guardian crocodile, the heart and soul of this extraordinary ramen. The old man saw the realization dawn on my face, a slow smile spreading across his wrinkled features. He nodded, then pointed to the bowl of ramen in front of me. It was an invitation, a sharing of something sacred. I took a deep breath, the aroma of the broth filling my senses, and carefully lifted a spoonful to my lips. The flavor was unlike anything I had ever tasted before. It was rich and complex, with layers of spice and herbs, a hint of sweetness, and a lingering earthiness that spoke of the crocodile's wild spirit. The meat itself was tender and flavorful, falling off the bone with the slightest touch. It was unlike any other meat I'd experienced, lean yet rich, with a unique gamey flavor that was both familiar and wholly new. As I ate, the old man watched me intently, his eyes twinkling with a mixture of amusement and satisfaction. This wasn't just a meal, it was a communion, a sharing of a cultural heritage that stretched back generations. And I, a stranger in a strange land, had been welcomed into the fold. The bowl of ramen, though meant for one, felt like a communal experience. The spirit of the village, the legacy of the guardian crocodile, the passion of the old chef. It was all there in every savory mouthful. The heart and soul of any ramen lies in its broth, and the crocodile leg ramen was no exception. This wasn't some hastily prepared instant concoction. This was a labor of love, a testament to the old chef's years of experience and culinary artistry. I watched, captivated, as he ladled a generous portion of the steaming elixir into my bowl. The aroma, a heady blend of savory and spicy, wafted up, enveloping me in its warmth. It was a symphony of scents, earthy, meaty, with a hint of something sweet and citrusy that lingered tantalizingly on the edge of perception. Curious, I tried to decipher the individual components of this magical potion. I could detect the deep umami flavor of long-simmered bone broth, the subtle heat of chilies, the refreshing tang of ginger, and a whisper of star anise that danced on the palate. But there was something else, something elusive, that gave the broth its unique character, a depth, a richness that spoke of long hours of simmering and secret ingredients passed down through generations. Later, the old man, with a mischievous twinkle in his eye, would show me a collection of dried herbs and spices, their labels worn with age. He pointed to each one, his words lost on me but his meaning clear. These were the treasures of the earth, the gifts of nature that transformed a simple broth into something extraordinary. The dance of noodles. With the broth as its foundation, the next layer of this culinary masterpiece was the noodles. These weren't the limp, lifeless strands you might find in a supermarket packet. These were fresh, springy noodles, made with care and precision. The old chef took a handful of dough, the result of hours of kneading and resting, and with a few deft movements, transformed it into a web of thin, delicate strands. He then plunged the noodles into a pot of boiling water where they danced and swirled, absorbing the flavor of the broth and transforming into silky, slurp-worthy delights. The timing was crucial, I observed. The noodles had to be cooked al dente, firm enough to retain their texture, yet tender enough to yield to the bite. A few seconds too short, and they would be tough and chewy. A few seconds too long, and they would turn mushy and lose their character. The old man, with his years of experience, seemed to operate on instinct. He knew precisely when the noodles were cooked to perfection, lifting them from the boiling water just as they reached their peak of texture and flavor. A symphony of senses. With the broth and noodles prepared, it was time for the star of the show to make its entrance, the crocodile leg. It arrived, prepped and parboiled, in a steaming clay pot, its aroma a potent mix of savory meat and exotic spices. The old chef, with reverence and care, lifted the leg from its steaming bath, revealing its impressive size and form. The skin, a deep mottled brown, glistened invitingly, while the exposed meat hinted at the tenderness that lay beneath. Using a cleaver, he expertly separated the leg into manageable portions, revealing the succulent meat within. He then arranged these pieces atop the bed of noodles, ensuring that each bowl received a generous portion of this rare delicacy. The visual impact was striking. The dark, almost prehistoric-looking leg contrasted beautifully with the bright green scallions, the earthy mushrooms, and the vibrant red chilies that adorned the bowl. It was a feast for the eyes as much as it promised to be for the palate. The aroma, now infused with the rich scent of the crocodile meat, was intoxicating, a siren call to my taste buds. I could feel my anticipation building, my senses on high alert, ready to experience the culmination of this culinary symphony. dreading, the first bite of crocodile. I picked up a morsel of meat, its texture firm yet yielding, and brought it to my lips. The flavor was unlike anything I had experienced before. It was not the fishy taste one might expect from a reptile, but rather a unique blend of poultry and game, with a subtle earthiness that spoke of its primal origins. The meat was lean yet surprisingly succulent, with a depth of flavor that lingered on the palate long after I had swallowed. It was a taste that transported me momentarily to the heart of the Taiwanese wilderness. I could almost envision the crocodile, a creature of ancient lineage, gliding through the murky depths of a hidden lake, its powerful muscles propelling it through the water. This wasn't just a meal. It was a connection to something ancient, a taste of the wildness that still existed in this rapidly modernizing world. I continued to eat, each bite a confirmation of the old chef's mastery. This wasn't just a bowl of ramen, it was a culinary masterpiece, a testament to the power of simple ingredients transformed by tradition, passion, and an intimate understanding of flavor. The broth, the noodles, the crocodile meat, they all came together in perfect harmony, each element complementing and enhancing the others. It was a symphony of textures and tastes, a culinary experience that transcended mere sustenance and touched upon something deeper, something primal and profound. As I finished the last of the broth, a sense of satisfaction washed over me, a feeling that went beyond mere fullness. It was a sense of completion, of having partaken in something truly special, something that had connected me to the heart and soul of Taiwan in a way that no tourist attraction ever could. The old chef, his face creased with a knowing smile, watched me finish the last drop. He nodded slowly as if in approval and spoke a few words in Mandarin. I couldn't understand the words themselves, but their meaning was clear. Welcome to the family. And in that moment I truly felt like I had been welcomed into something larger than myself. This wasn't just about the food, extraordinary as it was. It was about the shared experience, the connection forged over a steaming bowl of something unique and unforgettable. This bowl of crocodile ramen, born from ancient traditions and the dedication of a master chef, had been my culinary baptism. It had opened my eyes, and my palate, to the infinite possibilities of food, and the power it has to connect us to each other, to the natural world, and to something ancient and profound within ourselves. The silence descended as I finished the last drop of broth. The bowl, once steaming with promise, now sat empty. It wasn't just the flavor of the crocodile, but a sense of awe. This meal in the mountains of Taiwan was a communion with nature. The crocodile, a symbol of interconnectedness, became sustenance. The old chef, his weathered hands now resting on the counter, met my gaze. His eyes, crinkled at the corners with a lifetime of smiles and stories, held a depth of wisdom. This culinary experience went far beyond the bowl of ramen I had just consumed. It was about the preservation of tradition, the passing down of knowledge from one generation to the next. It was about the deep respect for ingredients and the power of food to bring people together. Taiwan, I realized, was more than just a food lover's paradise. It was a cultural tapestry woven with threads of tradition and innovation. From the bustling night markets of Taipei to hidden culinary gems in mountain villages, this small island nation had captured my heart and palate. Every meal was an opportunity to discover new flavors and connect with local traditions. This encounter with Crocodile Leg Ramen was just one chapter in my love affair with Taiwanese cuisine. As I boarded the plane back home, I knew I would return, drawn by its culinary treasures. For more amazing food and drinks, tips, and recipes, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Tell us about your thoughts in the comment section. Check out our other videos for more culinary inspiration. We love you. Until next time, keep cooking, stay adventurous.